Hello viewers, you are welcome to this tutorial. This session is to give you an advanced knowledge or maybe a good knowledge on what the strftime actually does. Okay, so we have a datetime class or a datetime object. If I should print this code, see what I have. Let's check the type also as well. So type of current date. You want to check the type of class or the type of object current date is. Okay, so it's a datetime.datetime. Okay, because that's what we've imported. So if I should change this to date, I'll have date dot. Okay, oh, there's an error in the code. Where is the error? Okay, here is the error. All right, so I should have changed it. Okay, so if I should run this code, I have datetime.date. Okay, so because of all this, then this is kind of troubleshooting. If you find someone's code, make sure you check the type and know why it's giving you an error and do all this kind of stuff. So let me change it back to datetime.datetime. Okay, so I do not have any problems. Okay, so if I should run the code, meaning it's datetime.datetime, so there are more functionalities I can access. You will see most of them as we are going on. Alright, so let's begin to appreciate what we've started and we can get something out of what we need. Because if I should print this information to the user that your date of today or the date of registration is 2020 06 05 17 27 9 99, all these numbers, if I should print this to the user, it's not readable. Okay, it's not kind of more good to be displaying this kind of thing to the user. So strftime actually picks a date and a time class and is able to represent it in a way you want to show it to the user. Okay, so 31st of June 2020, 31st of August 2020. I wonder if there's 31st of June or August. I'm just mentioning dates. 1st of January 2020. So all these kind of things, you want to format them in a way the user will see them rather than using this format. Okay, so this Python's default format. Alright, so there are two ways we can actually access it. What we're about to do, strftime. Let's check it out. Oh, why did I clean on it? Alright, so now strftime is a method under datetime class. Okay, so if we want to access it, we first have to bring the datetime class, so we access the method strftime. There is a more reliable way for doing that. I'll teach you right after this because that's what I always use. But I like to teach you different methods as well. So you might meet a code somewhere else with a friend. Okay, a friend wants you to troubleshoot a code. You see the code. You have to be able to understand what a friend is doing. So you just look at the code and, oh, this is the method you're using. So I want to teach you one method, then I go to the original method. Okay, now let's begin. So we first have to reference the date and time class. Then after referencing, we use the dot operator and say strftime. Okay, so you saw strp time as well. There's p time, there is f time, this p time, this f time. We're dealing with f time, so string for time. Okay, now check the top. They're asking us to enter the date and the time class first. Okay, enter the date and the time before you go to the string format. So if we use this method and say we reference the date and time, we access the method strftime, the first thing we need to enter is the object which we want to modify, because we can't just go and modify things. So strftime can accept two arguments. The first argument is which date do you want to modify. Okay, then the second argument is which modification do you want to give to the date, because you can't just say modify without specifying what you want to modify. So we want to modify the current date, then we use the comma operator. Okay, after the comma, we now bring what or how we want to modify it. So we put it within string. So you can use single quotes or double quotes. Now, this is a little bit of syntax you have to be careful about. Before you can be able to access something within, if I say D, so D stands for date. Okay, so if I should print, currently what is in my motive right now is I want to print the date, like 27, not like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, I want to print 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 21st, 25th. So I want to print that one out of the current date. Just check what will happen. It prints only D for me. The meaning is that this D just works like a string. So it uses the D to replace everything here. So it just says, okay, you want to replace D with everything. So let's just print D for the user. So what you have to realize, or one key word you have to realize, is the percentage. Okay, if you bring the percentage before the D or the percentage before the alphabet, which represents either day, month or year, it actually turns it beyond the D to be kind of an identifier, so you can get your date, your month or your year from the current date. So if I should run this, you see 07. So today is actually 7th. Okay, and if I want to access the month, I say percent, or let me bring a forward slash percent B. Then if I want to access the year, percent Y. So if I run this code, I have June or 7th of June 2020. Now the forward slash is not compulsory. You can leave an empty space. You can use a hyphen as well. So a hyphen. So if I should run this code, so that's it. So the kind of forward slash, backslash, comma, you can use anything you want. So that is not restricted. I choose to use forward slash. You can use anything at all you want to use. So if I run the code, it works the same. But the problem is understanding these individual things. Now, someone will ask, why did they not use M for month, but B? The M is already replaced with something else. Okay, M means something else in Python if you want to use with a percent. So they've kind of using any alphabet they have available. Okay, so don't really bother yourself trying to put this within your head. If you are confused, go over the internet. What is the string format for month within the date and time class? Simple, and you just find something out. I don't put these things in my head. I use them when they come, okay? And if I want them, I go search for them. That is all. So don't put all these things in your head. All you have to know is you need your percentage. That is all. And remember your percentage for each one of them. So the percentage does not cut through all of them. For each one, you have to represent with a percentage. Then you use any symbol you want to use within. You can use an empty space. Then after, your B is for your month, the Y is for the year. Now, if I use a small b and I run the code, it kind of displays the month in another way, like JUN, June, DEC, December, okay, JAN, January. So that is how it means. So the small b represents your month in a short form, okay, and B. Okay, and the small y as well represents your year in a short form, so 20. So if it was 2019, it will be 19. Okay, if it was 2018, it will be 18. So we want it in 2020, so we use capital Y. Okay, so this is how it actually works. So this is what you have to know. Now, let's see how this trick comes in. If I want to access the time as well, what do? I don't have it off head, okay? I'm being frank with you. So all I do is I play around with it, but I know what to do. So check it out. I say print datetime.strftime, and I specify the current date, and now let me play around with it. So R means H, if I'm right. R means H. Then I bring I bring colon, because time is separated by colon, so it's not compulsory as well. I say, then I bring this sign and say minute. Then I bring this sign and I say second. I hope it works. So if I should run this code, 5:23:56, 5:23, so it works perfectly, no problem. If I should run it again, 5:24, because time is running up, so 5:24, okay, it works. Okay, now I'm being frank with you, I never had this off head. I've used it countless and countless of time. It's trying to stick in my head because I use them, but don't try to put them within your head. No, write them down or search over them over the internet when you want to use them. So let's play around with it. What if it's smaller s? Okay, it gives an error. There is nothing like that. So what if the code is running kind of slower. Alright, what if it's smaller m? Let's see what happens. Smaller m, okay, 06. So smaller m is 06. 06 is actually June. Okay, 06 is June. So it's kind of replacing it. So you see what happens right here. So if I also want to display the month, okay, in maybe how Python formats it, like 07/06/2020, then I use smaller m. So smaller m means the month in a numeric way. Okay, and I can add a year as a small aspect as well. Then I have 07/06/20. Okay, so just play around with all this. You realize there are so many differences within them, but I'm teaching you what you will use within your code. That is what matters. Okay, now let me go back to the capital M. Then the R, let me check something within the R and say small h. Okay, small h is also June. So it's very interesting. Just look at all that's happening. So if you want to represent June, there are several ways of representing June in a short form. Either I say small b or I say small h. All of them are the same. Now, why are they mixing and giving so many ways of access? And no problem. Sometimes they just doing it for you to have several access, or maybe you might face a problem with one and use another. Okay, so do not be restricted. Just play around with them. Know how each one of them works. So if I should bring h here, it simply displays June. If I should bring small b as well, it displays June. If I bring capital B, it displays the it displays my whole June I should have. Okay, so all you have to know is what I'm teaching you right now. Know how to display the date, B, Y, and know how to display the hour, the minute, and the second. Okay, so Python by default, okay, uses the 24-hour format for the time. So you see something like 24 in the previous code, on the previous tutorial, you see something like that, 26, but maybe you don't want to tell the user it is 24, okay, 6. You don't want to tell you don't want to give the user that information that it is actually 24/6. You want to tell the user it is 12/6. You want to tell the user it is 19. Oh no, not 19. I think 19 being converted will kind of be, if I'm right, like 7 o'clock or some kind of way like that, if only I'm right. Okay, so we don't want to display those kind of things to the user in the 24-hour format. We want to say 12/6, 13/6, display it in an appropriate way. So I'm still saying 13/6, so 13 means 1, so maybe 1/6, okay, and we have to add AM or PM, because if we are not dealing with 24-hour format, then we have to specify whether it is AM or PM. And you know basically that within most time formats, they don't add the second. Okay, I just brought it to show you how it works, but they normally do not add the second. So if you want to display it in 12-hour format, instead of the H, you use a capital I. Okay, now we are not, so say 528. Let me try to add this so it doesn't confuse you. It doesn't bring any big change. So if I run the code, it's still 505. Okay, we are not going to see the effect right now unless I try to change my time. Let me make it more practical for you to get it. Okay, let me change my time by default. All right, so if I should come here and I give ourselves 5. Okay, no, let me just change this to PM. Alright, so change it to PM, run the code with an H or H, and I run, you see 1728, meaning 5:28 PM. I've changed the time so it's working like PM. But if I want to display it in a 12-hour format, I use I. So I will tell me 5:28. Then I have to be able to add either AM or PM. So that one, that's where you bring your percentage sign and use P. Is it P or A? Okay, P. Let's try P. If P works, that's all. Okay, that is it. So we have P. If I try A does not work. Okay, A may be for something else. I've kind of forgotten. Okay, A is for Sunday. Oh, that is it. Alright, so I have all these kind of things in the head. I use them constantly. I don't try to put them within my head. I use them when they come. Okay, so that is why some of them are trying to escape me, but I still have them. So don't try to sit to kind of learn all this thing you need. So if you want to display whether it's AM or PM, just use P. Not sure capital P. Okay, let's stop trying all of it. Okay, let's keep on trying. So if I use capital P, it gives me an error. Oh, box an error. If I use capital A, so capital A is actually for a whole Sunday. Okay, and capital or small a is actually the short form of Sunday. So Monday will be MON. So I prefer the long one. So maybe I go like P. Okay. I duplicated the code. So if I should run this code, I have 5:49, and we normally do not add a second, as I said earlier. So if I should run this code, 5:29 PM, and sometimes there are spaces within, so I can leave a space here. Now leave a space before you bring the percentage, because the percentage is actually for the letter. Alright, so if I run the code, 5:30 PM, so it simplifies everything I need. So if it is not 24 hours, it will say AM. You don't need to come and change the P to A. No, it does everything by itself. So the I brings the format. Now I can still bring the H, so to say 17:30 PM, but it's not reliable. Okay, let's just use the I and let's go with the P. So the P actually knows whether it's AM or PM, and the I will actually change it to 12-hour format. Alright, so these are some of the things you have to be knowing when it comes to this format. And if you want to print only month, or did I say only month? We only want to print something like a day, be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You've already seen the syntax. The only thing we have to do is bring our percentage, then after the percentage we say A. So small a, and if you want to print everything, capital A. So small a is like Sunday, capital A is for the whole Sunday, okay, the whole spelling. So play around with this, be used to them, but don't try to put them within your head, okay? It's not really the point of what we're trying to prove. So just go around and play around with all of them and have a good deal for each one, and we are all good to go. Okay, so should I run this code again? It's able to identify this AM. I guess you've seen what is working out right now. Alright, so this is the point of this tutorial, and I made mention of teaching you a short way of how to go about all of them, because I tried to bring datetime.strftime, strftime, and all this code is long code. we are doing our best to shorten the code. Okay, that's what Python actually is. In as much as the code is short by default, we can shorten it again. So just check this code out. Print, check this code, okay? And I say current date. Now, why am I bringing current date? Just see .strftime. So I can actually access strptime and strftime. So strftime. Then the only thing I bring is now my format. You realize they're not asking me for the date time. So I bring my format and say date, or I want to get D, I want to get month, I want to get year. Okay, and I have to show you one as well. It just came into mind. So if I should run this code, see, I have 7th of June 2020, which is here. Now this code is kind of shorter than what I have at the top. What really happens here is I access the class first, I access the method strftime, then I have to specify the date and time object which I want to modify, then I give them modification. Alright, but what is happening within this code, instead of bringing the date time, I specify the current date, because by default current date is already a date time object. So they know that, oh, this is what you are dealing with, because this is not built in, this is built in. Okay, it's a keyword within it. So this is not built in, my own variable. Then I bring strftime. So there is no need to specify the current date or the date object which I want to modify, because I've already brought it at the beginning. So my emphasis goes directly to the modification. So it's kind of better than this code. Okay, so it's more reliable. So emphasize on this, work with that, and you're purely good to go. So let me say current date. Current date. Okay, and they're giving us error because it only expects one argument. Okay, so this is an unexpected argument. Instead of them saying this is unexpected, they say this is unexpected, because it considers the first argument. So I have to be cleaning each one of this, so we go straight to the point. Okay, alright, so if I should run this code, everything works as intended. Okay, now there is one more thing I want you to understand, so we end the tutorials, which is this. If I want to have date, month and year in one single line, I don't want to be separating them, I just use percentage and capital D. So percentage and capital D will give me everything I need. So check, that's the last code. So 060720. So it's formatted in a different way. So unlike Python that brings 2020 0607, capital D actually does it 06, which is the month first, the day second, and 20 it makes it short. Okay, so there are several ways of doing it. I use the long one, DBY and IMP, and I make sure I get all of them in full text. And if I want to display this, I mostly go with the long one, unless I want to display the short one, because days are actually simple to be read. MONTUE, everyone knows it's Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so anyone you want to play with, and if you want to display all of them, is capital D. So this is how and what you have to know within this tutorial. Check out for the next one, which we're dealing with strftime, and you are good to go. So work this over and over again, so you'll be good with that. Subscribe to the channel, share with friends, hit the bell to get every update I release, and I want to thank you for viewing. Leave any comment you have and like the video if it's informative for you. Thank you.